Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm in a bit of a song mood, and it's all a divine comedy. And I refer you to look at the official video to the Divine Comedy, the song called National Express. When your life is a mess, you know what to do. Take a trip on the National Express. Nothing to do with the external world. I thought I'd show you some results as well. We've got potatoes coming up in pots, and I've transplanted some squashes because they weren't doing very well due to the prolonged intensity of this sun. It is burning the leaves on things, so it's little and often with the watering. Anyway, the National Express. There's the melons. Just look at what I put on the about for this channel. There is only one nation, and that is the imagination. And as the song says, we're going where the air is free. Tomorrow belongs to you and me. We are in the Pluto transit. It is a transition. You ever wondered why Walt Disney, Welt is deny, shows Pluto as a rather stupid dog? But it is all a come-die comedy. Here we are on where I once was, the site of the teepee, and more potatoes, more squashes. The two surviving orange trees, there was 3 in the one pot, and 2 of them just burnt to a crisp because of that intensity of sun. It affects the not very well established things. So as much as anything else, if you're feeling the stress of that outside world, well, why don't you come and sample off-grid living? This is a big chance to rewrite the timeline. It's exactly what we're doing here. We've gone back to the 19th century, effectively, in the way we live. We don't have electricity except through the solar panel. So we do have a bit of the more modern world, but I'm sure if you've looked at the right channels that show that electric cars were about in the 1800s, the Corliss electric generator for one of those world fairs in 1876. What Corliss generator that supplied all the power? Why have we not heard about this before? Look at the timing of things. I put up a status quite a long time ago that said, will the Poles forgive the Germans? And, well, maybe if the Prussians forgive the Poles. And I'm sure some of you didn't understand what I was getting at. Well, I would invite you to look at various maps throughout the ages. You'll notice we're talking about the same land area, but it's given a different nation's name. It implies that the infighting will continue amongst ourselves, because it is man being its own worst enemy. Who knows you better than your lower conscious self? The one that is chasing time, the one that is trying to make time, the one that is worried about losing time. Or you can look at the positive perspective and see the beauty in the timing. What is the Creator? It is something that is immeasurable. It cannot be measured. It is everywhere and yet is nowhere. There is only one. It is element one. It is the hidden red one, the hydrogen. If you break the words down, you've got hide. Red comes from Rogan, which is Irish, which is basically Gaelic. And I refer you to that Conor McDarry book, Irish Wisdom in the Bible and Pyramids. Oh yes, the script has been flipped in the story. But remember, the devil is always in the detail. Don't worry about the details. For example, the Titanic, the only thing you need to take from that, in that story, there's 3 men who are standing in the way of the Federal Reserve being created. And what is the story there? It's showing you that it doesn't matter if 1,000 people are basically murdered to get rid of 3. They will sink to any depth to get what they want, this anti-nature part of this program within this matrix. And don't be fooled that you can get out of the matrix. The whole thing is a matrix. Even this place is part of the matrix in its broadest sense of the word. So we're up to 5.5 minutes, so I'm going to cut this off here because, as always, it takes a while for these videos to upload, and I feel there's plenty of information to reflect upon. And incidentally, if you're in that matrix world, you could even play that song if you're in a shopping mall. It's hard to get by when your arse is as wide as a small cunt tree. It's quite an amusing line. And in this world that we live in today, most things go over people's heads. You can sort of insult them in a charming way. I'm not advocating doing that, though, because it is negative. If it isn't coming from the heart, if it isn't coming from experience, it is only a concept. Pluto and this Pluto transit is a destroyer. It is a destroyer of all that is untrue. So I can almost guarantee you, and I say this with confidence, that there will be many YouTube channels that will expose themselves through where their words and actions that do not match. When you see the V of CV23, this is the Pluto phenomenon. The V, if you look, you start at the base. Now the words go off in one direction, and the actions go off in a completely opposite direction. You'll see the widening gulf. That is the real Gulf War within oneself. You can fall for the divide and conquer, or you can be in divide you all, and you can concur between your higher and lower self. Operate from the heart. The mind's eye is like a lighthouse to shine out to the world. Because you have a Noah's Ark. Everything goes in 2 by 2. That's why you have 2 eyes. Everything you take in through the eyes, that is your ark. But what do I know? This is basically Genesis. I know nothing. You wouldn't know me from Adam, you could say. Love to you all.